Hello and welcome to Going Beyond, the podcast that takes you on a journey through the cosmos and the minds that helped us understand it. I'm your host, Nathaniel North.
And I'm your co-host, Mark Stothard. Today we're turning back the clock to the 16th century, to a man who revolutionized our understanding of the universe. It is, of course, Galileo Galilei.
Yes, Galileo, often referred to as the father of observational astronomy, modern physics, and even the scientific method. Born in Pisa, Italy in 1564, Galileo's life was as fascinating as his contributions to science.
That's right, Nathaniel. Galileo was a man of many talents. He was a mathematician, physicist, astronomer, and philosopher. But he's most famous for his support of Copernicanism, the theory that the Earth and other planets revolve around the Sun.
And it's worth noting that this was a controversial view at the time. The prevailing belief was geocentrism, the idea that the Earth was the center of the universe.
Absolutely, Nathaniel. But Galileo wasn't just a theorist. He was a keen observer. His improvements to the telescope allowed him to observe celestial bodies more clearly than ever before.
And one of his most significant observations was of the moons of Jupiter. He discovered 4 of Jupiter's largest moons, now known as the Galilean moons. This was a major blow to the geocentric model.
And let's not forget his observations of the phases of Venus, which provided further evidence for the heliocentric model. But Galileo's commitment to truth and science came at a great personal cost.
Indeed, his support for Copernicanism eventually led to his trial and conviction for heresy by the Roman Inquisition in 1633. He was placed under house arrest, where he remained for the rest of his life.
But even under house arrest, Galileo continued to work. His work on the laws of motion laid the groundwork for the later work of Isaac Newton.
Galileo's story is a testament to the power of curiosity, observation, and the relentless pursuit of truth. His work continues to inspire scientists and thinkers around the world.
And it's worth noting that Galileo's final resting place is in the Basilica of Santa Croce in Florence, Italy. His tomb is a place of pilgrimage for many who admire his contributions to science. The Go Beyond team visited the Basilica of Santa Croce recently. Please check out this video to find out more.
And what a fascinating trip it was, Mark. And one more interesting fact about Galileo is that his middle finger is on display at the Museo Galileo in Florence. It's a bit macabre, but it's seen by some as a symbol of his defiant spirit.
Well said, Nathaniel. And let's not forget that Galileo was also a great writer. His book, Dialogue Concerning the Two Chief World Systems, is a masterwork of scientific literature. It's written as a conversation between 3 characters, and it's a brilliant way of presenting complex scientific ideas.
That's a great point, Mark. Galileo was not just a scientist, but also a skilled communicator. He understood the importance of making science accessible to the public.
And speaking of books, Galileo's own copy of Copernicus's On the Revolutions of the Heavenly Spheres is still preserved today. It's filled with Galileo's own annotations and shows how deeply he engaged with the text.
That's fascinating, Mark. It's like a window into Galileo's mind. Now, before we wrap up, let's talk a bit about Galileo's family. He was the eldest of 6 children, and he himself had 3 children.
Yes, and his daughter, Sister Maria Celeste, was a source of great support for Galileo, especially during his later years. Their correspondence provides a touching insight into their close relationship.
It certainly does, Mark. And it's worth noting that despite his many challenges, Galileo never lost his sense of wonder and curiosity. He once said, "I have loved the stars too fondly to be fearful of the night." A beautiful sentiment, don't you think?
Indeed, Nathaniel. Galileo's life and work continue to inspire us to question, to observe, and to seek to understand the universe we live in.
It certainly does, Mark. That's all the time we have for today. Join us next time on Going Beyond as we continue to explore the fascinating world of astronomy and the people who have shaped it.
Until then, everyone, see you again soon.